John, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come hang out with us. We really want to learn about what active life is so we can share it with our audience. Really, most of the people that are listening to this right now are our members, and why active life is going to help them get better results, get out of pain, live a healthier, happier life.
I love it. So I'd like to first talk to your members and let them know where this kind of came from.
Sure.
So they can understand how it would be valuable for them. This whole company, Active Life, if you follow us on Instagram, it's Active Life RX is the account that your members would want to be following. And essentially that business, the entire business of Active Life, started because we had patients in my chiropractic clinic that was attached to a CrossFit gym at the time who would fly in from out of town to get evaluated for whatever was going wrong. We had a guy fly in. The first guy who flew in, his name was Will Dermody. He flew in from Nevada, and we were like, I just threw a stupid price at this guy because I didn't know what to do. I figured he would say no. He was like, cool, and he booked it. I'm like, okay. So we had to figure out a plan for Will. And then once Will came out, the next guy came out was Johan. And Johan came from Finland. Like Johan from Finland.
Johan.
He called himself the refrigerator because he's like, his mobiles were refrigerated. And we started to realize like these people are coming out to see us. They need a plan for when they leave because they're not going to be day-to-day patients in our clinic. And that plan needs to look like exercise because they don't want to be in a physical therapy suite. If they wanted to be in a physical therapist's office or a chiropractic office, they wouldn't have needed to fly out to see us. And the way that we help our patients at the time get out of pain without going to the doctor or missing the gym was by being the doctor who built their business model on not needing to see the patient. So it was, look, if you have the competency and confidence to move appropriately, meaning like if you're listening to this and you're a Solid Rock member, if you know how to do a kettlebell swing, I don't need to watch you do a kettlebell swing to be able to write in your program that you need kettlebell swings to improve your back pain. I know you can do them. Does that make sense? So once we got them to that place, it was just progressing that program online. And we found that we were getting really good results from people. So we said, you know what? Let's stick some rocket fuel in this thing and see if we can get it going. Built an Instagram account. Did a little bit of influencer marketing, meaning like I went out to people who I thought we could help on Instagram. I contacted them in the DM, direct, cold call.
In there.
I slid right in. And it started off with like, well, who else have you? It started off people saying, who else have you worked with?
Yeah. And
it became, can we work with you? And we've since worked with over 40 CrossFit Games athletes, 5 CrossFit Games champions, plus Masters Games champions, and over 10,000 people worldwide. 9,960 plus are not CrossFit Games athletes.
Right.
Just
moms and dads, everyday folks, right?
Everyday people, because the people make the mistake of seeing that we worked with Rich Froning. They think they need to be Rich Froning to be our client.
Right.
And the reality is there's one of them. The reason that it's valuable to work with somebody like that for us is because we can leapfrog off of his exposure to people who think he's doing everything right. And when he says, I'm working with Active Life, they're like, oh, well, then I guess I need to also. And they would be right.
For sure.
But the way it's going to benefit them when you guys come back from this workshop, for example, is you guys are mature enough, developed enough, confident enough, and contrite enough to understand that there are members in your gym right now who are dealing with aches and pains that are making their workouts less fun.
Yeah.
You also understand that those things might have happened as a consequence of them working out. They also might have happened as a consequence of them having an underlying issue that was only discovered because they started working out. Right? The person who has a broken ankle isn't in pain until they try to stand up. Did they break their ankle standing up? No. So someone in the gym might have a back issue that doesn't become a problem until they start squatting, kettlebell swinging, and running, and now all of a sudden that load is causing pain in their low back. This weekend, we are going to retrain Derek, train you, Bob, on how to assess movement so that you can identify which members should be doing what in the gym, who should be swinging a kettlebell, who shouldn't, who should be swinging an overhead, who shouldn't, what do we do instead? And a lot of members listening to this right now might be thinking, well, shouldn't they already know that? They're fitness professionals. And you do. We're going to teach it to you at a level that most fitness professionals do not understand.
Right.
And the next 13 weeks with us, we're going to train your entire staff on how to go ahead and take the things that we taught you how to find this weekend and turn them into corrective plans. So they can do personal training with their coach instead of going to the physical therapist when it's within the scope of the coach.
Absolutely.
Because we believe that the future of healthcare is the gym, and the future healthcare provider is the coach. So you guys essentially become the hospital director for problems in your scope in the future, and your coaches become the doctors in that hospital. I want to be clear though, we're not faking doctor or anything like that. Right? So we just believe that your health insurance is to make sure that, God forbid, something catastrophic happens, you're covered. You know, you end up with $20,000 in medication a month, you're covered. You hit by a car, you're covered. If you get a little bit of achy low back pain or knee pain, stop looking at your insurance provider, start looking at your coach. And if they can't solve it, they'll get them to the doctor who can.
So great, man. Thank you so much. And I think one of the things we want to talk about too is like, what is Active Life Pro? Why is it so beneficial for other fit pros to follow you guys and learn everything about it?
I was pointing at the microphone, not your partner, but he's handsome too.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the things we wanted to talk a little about was Active Life Pro, why it's beneficial for, you know, trainers and coaches to follow you and potentially get into your immersion program, and how it'll benefit them to be able to actually turn pro, stop being just a trainer and start being a coach.
Yeah, so our thought is this, you know, there's a stigma in fitness that is, I didn't get into this for the money. I just got into this because I love people. Cool. Cops didn't get into being cops because they wanted to get rich either. But if you stop paying cops, they're going to stop being cops. Right? So why is it that in fitness, we have this stigma that you're not allowed to do great things for people and make a lot of money? For a long time, I fell into that myself. I was a chiropractor seeing patients from all over the world. They were flying here for their evaluation. I was seeing patients in my clinic who were local. I owned a CrossFit gym that had about 170 members in it. I owned an event company that put 1,200 people in a CrossFit competition on the beach right here in my town. At the end of the year, I was making right around $28,000. 17-hour days, 6 days a week. Because it was, I don't want to charge that person for this, like they can't afford that. I don't want to ask this person for that, that's going to make them feel bad. I don't want to charge that price, that's not fair. So at the end of the day, I was able to give a lot of people mediocre support. Now, I make plenty of money because I've gone through that transformation of working with coaches who really taught me to get out of my own head. I mean, I've in the last year, I've spent about $75,000 on my personal and professional development myself, working with people like Bedros Keuilian, if you guys know who he is,
Yeah.
Jesse Itzler, Xander Fryer. The list goes on of coaches who I've paid myself in the last year. Ken Andruko, who owns Level 5 Mentors, has been great for us. All of their advice is useless without application. And all of their advice is more expensive than I'd like it to be. But it's all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what we want to be able to do is teach fitness professionals how to help people in a deeper way than they're currently capable of helping people, and make a lot of money doing it, so that their family doesn't have to suffer when they want to do things for people for free. Right? Because now that I make plenty of money, I'm able to have clients who I take on pro bono, which means I don't charge them any money, but I do charge them energy. So I have clients, I have a woman in Suriname whose name is Sahista. Sahista owns a gym that was making very little money, and she's in Suriname, where it's a male-dominated society. And she's like, I don't know how to break through, and we're not a CrossFit gym, and CrossFit gyms have more clout than we do. Like, it's just a thing, right? Suriname, they want to be Americanized, so being a CrossFit gym does it.
Yeah.
She and her boyfriend bought my immersion course, which was kind of like their skin in the game, right? For them, that course at the time was, I want to say, $2,500, which in Suriname is about $20,000. So think about that as a coach right now who's like, I can't afford that. They spend $20,000 for the same thing you're getting for $2,500.
Right.
It's more than that now, but that's what it was. It's still not $20K, so you're still winning. Their gym started doing well. And she's like, I need more. How can I do it? And I said, well, I mentor people for $2,000 a month. You get a 15-minute call every week. I'm happy to talk to you every week for 15 minutes to help you build your business for $2,000. She's like, that would literally bankrupt us immediately. I'm like, okay, you've already put your skin in the game. Now that I make enough money, I'm able to do this. Previously, I couldn't. She has to give 2 hours per week of community service to the charity of her choice in the town that she wants, locally. Documented. So send me what you did that week, and I will coach you for free, financially. Her business went from doing right around $8,000 a month to doing right around $50,000 a month. In the last year, she asked if she could start paying me. She can now afford to pay me American dollars, $2,000. I said, no, I have somebody else I want you to pay because I think that she would help you become a stronger woman. I will keep mentoring you on the business side. She's going to mentor you on the personal side. Pay her, keep doing what you're doing for me. I can't do that if I don't have enough money in my bank.
It's incredible.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
You got anything you want to ask her?
Man, that was pretty much it. I really love how you talked about, professionalizing the coach so they can have a professional career and take care of their families. I just want to go back to maybe some of the members at Solid Rock Training. So say someone who every time we go to do walking lunges has to go and do bodyweight squats because they have knee pain. How is that coach going to be educated to solve that problem for them?
Yeah, great question. So if I understand your question correctly, Derek, what you're asking me is, a member of yours has knee pain every time they do a walking lunge, for example. And so they have to scale to air squats, body weight squats. How is the coach on your staff going to be able to determine what they need to do so that they can do lunges like everybody else without pain? Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So what we teach coaches is how to fill the gap between the physical therapy clinic and the gym. What that means is, let's take that person through a movement screen. Do their knees go through full range of motion? In the case that you're describing, I imagine the answer is going to be yes. They're going to be fine. The movement's going to be fine. Next question, if we change the angle of the hip, for example, because an air squat versus a lunge changes the angle of the hip. In one, the hip goes through extension, right? So if you guys are following me, that's like your back leg when you're running or lunging, that's extension. In the other, you only come back to neutral, which is standing straight up. So we're going to teach your coaches what muscles cross the knee and the hip that will lengthen when somebody lunges and maybe put pressure on the knee that will not lengthen when somebody squats and therefore not put pressure on the knee. Good. If we know what structure that is, in this case it's a muscle called the rectus femoris, we can start looking at what kind of exercise can we do to create length in that structure. What kind of exercises are going to shorten that structure over time? How do we avoid them? What kind of exercises will build length in that structure over time? How do we add them? And what tissue damage has been done? In the case that you're describing, it sounds like a tendon issue. So what do tendons like? Tempo. How much tempo? That depends on the client. Here are the parameters we want you to stay inside of while we build tissue resiliency back up for the tendon. That's a very, very simple step-by-step process that we're going to take your coaches through so that they can very clearly and concisely and effectively and efficiently solve problems for your members.
Awesome. So the coach could essentially bring me in, say I'm a client, run me through an assessment, and they would be able to see what's going on, and then they would be able to prescribe a solution to that problem.
That's exactly right. And what I would recommend to you guys and to your members as they listen to this is expect to charge extra for it and expect to pay extra for it if you're a member. The reason why I say that is because it's important that you understand the value of the group class and the value of the one-on-one coaching and how they differ. The way we look at it is, if any of you guys ever played sports, and Derek, I know you wrestled in college. Did you play sports, Bob?
I played sports, football and wrestling.
Say that to the microphone. So Bob,
Football and wrestling.
Great.
Yeah.
before you learn how to throw a single leg takedown, right? You don't learn how to shoot a single leg takedown in your first match. You go through drill, 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 drill. Then, in practice and in your matches, you try to execute it. We wouldn't be like, hey, let's go live and just try to get better at throwing that single leg. We're going to get better at that single leg while coach is watching, the athlete across from you is trying to stop you from doing it, And coach is going to give you cues on how to change his eye level so you can get in there quicker. That happens one-on-one. If that doesn't happen one-on-one, it's all left to chance. And we don't like to leave things to chance. It's a faster way to get things done. And what I implore you guys listening to this to think about is you're not going to be paying for the time that it takes your coach to fix your problem. You're going to be paying for the time that it took your coach to learn how to be able to fix your problem so that you can get that problem solved faster. You're paying for outcomes, not for time. Does that make sense to you guys?
Makes perfect sense. Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Sean, I think we can wrap it up, man. This has been an awesome episode. Sean, I think we can wrap it up, man. This has been a great episode. It's been fun sharing the mic with Derek. Been a little challenging. That was great information, man. Where can people follow you again, just so everybody can find you on Instagram, online?
Yeah, sure. So your members should definitely be following Active Life RX and understand that when we talk on there, we're talking to people who largely don't have a coach in their gym who's going to be able to do what your coaches at Solid Rock are able to do. So we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to reach out and tell us what's going on. Your first reach out should be to a coach inside Solid Rock Training. We can help you one-on-one, not as well as they're going to be able to do it in person. So reach out to a coach on your staff. They have our ear, they have our support, and they're right there. You know them, you trust them, they can help you. Active Life RX is where you find that. Active Life Professional is where the coaches and the gym owners who are ready to level up and turn pro can find us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending time with us today, man. It's been a pleasure. We're looking forward to learning from you this weekend, getting mentored by you, and seeing future things to come.
I'm looking forward to doing it with you.
Awesome.
Turn pro, guys.